Here, welcome to episode 4 of the Strive Show. At least I think it's this 4th. I've already lost count, so hopefully it's number 4.
Recorded in Fargo, North Dakota, and broadcasting around the world. Welcome to the Strive Show, your connection to all things family health, and nothing is off limits. And now, your host, Dr. Jake Grenacher.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Dr. Jake here. Welcome to episode 4 of the Strive Show. At least I think it's this 4th. I've already lost count, so hopefully it's number 4. But this one I'm kind of excited about. This is actually kind of modified off a talk that I gave in San Diego at a chiropractic conference last year regarding vision, like setting a vision, having goals, taking action steps, that kind of stuff. But I really wanted to share it with you because you mean a lot for your family in what you are planning and want for the future, for, like I said, your family, professionally, personally. You can really utilize this exercise in any way. So I wanted to make sure that I shared it with you. I'm going to actually upload a worksheet if you want to use it into the comments wherever you're watching this, so you have it and can use it that way as well. But the idea of it is that having a big vision and then working backwards in a way that creates that vision that you want to. So let's say, take for example your family. Let's use your family, and that's what your vision is. Let's cast a vision out there 20 years, right? So we're going to use a 2039 vision. Man, that seems like it's, flying cars and amazing time so long in the future. But let's use that. If you were to close your eyes and picture everything you would want for your family, what you want it to look like, where you want to be living, all the different things that you can possibly define, what does that look like in 20 years? Be as absolute specific as you possibly can and write that down, right? Put that down as your 2039 vision, right? You're casting this net out 20 years from now. Maybe it's professionally. Where do you want to be professionally in 20 years? What does that look like for you? And the more detail you can describe that in, and the more time you put into that, the better this exercise and this thing will become for you. But before we move on from that part, but really before we even start tackling that 39 vision and how we start attacking this, you have to define where you are right now. Whether that be your family, your personal fitness, your professional goals, whatever it may be, whatever exercise you're doing this. And this worksheet, like I said, I'll upload it for you guys and I'll explain a little bit more in a second here. You can do this for every part of it. You can do this 4 times for each different thing that you're talking about, and that's great. But before we move on, before that we decide where that is going, you have to define where we are right now. Whether it be painful, whether it be humbling, whether you be excited, it doesn't matter. You just have to be honest. You really have to be transparent. You have to be vulnerable with this and define where you are right now, right? The weight loss is always an easy example to use that for, right? If you want to be at X amount of goal weight, you have to weigh yourself right away to define where you're at. Well, if you want this vision for your family in 20 years, you also have to define where you're at right now, right? So you have to put a stake in the ground. This is where I'm at. This is what's going on in my life right now. And then you can start painting that 20-year vision of what you want that to be, right? So let's say whether it be professionally or with your family or whatever, you have that 2039, that 20-year vision staked out for yourself. And that number may be a little different for all of you, depending where you're at in life, right? If you're a little bit older, that vision may not be so far away. If you're younger, it might be harder to picture that. This is just a starting point, right? You can pick out whatever number that is for you to wrap your mind around. What does that vision look like, right? With technology and nowadays and age, as fast as the world is changing, sometimes it's really hard to have a 20-year vision. Sometimes you can't look out that far because things are changing so fast, and that's okay. Let's just paint a picture of some point you picture that in the end point. For this exercise, let's just use a 20-year vision, right? So now what? Now we define where we're at. Now we define that 20-year vision from where we want to be. Now what's that 5-year picture like? And how you do this is if you look at it, if you think about placing a stake that's way out there, 20 years literally out there, you want to define these checkpoints along the way, that if you can follow these checkpoints, you'll wind up at that 20-year vision. Because it's really hard to spend a lot of time in that 20-year vision because it's so far out there. You don't actually want to spend a lot of time in it. You want to only spend a little bit of your time thinking about that future vision. You just want to know where it's at, right? So you set a 5-year picture. So if that's your 20-year vision, what does your 5-year picture look like? So if I want to be here in 20 years, where do I need to be in 5 years to start, moving towards that 20-year vision? From there, where do I need to be in a year, right? If I'm going to be here in 20, here in 5, where do I need to be in a year to make sure that I'm moving towards that goal, right? To make sure that my coordinates are tracking and I'm not 2, 3, 4 degrees, maybe 30 degrees off my intended target, because that's going to take you a long ways off, right? Where is that 20? Where is that 5? Where is that 1 year? Where is that 1 year mark? And then you start setting quarterly objectives, right? Okay, if I'm going to be here in a year, what do I need to do each quarter to make sure that I hit that year mark of where I want to be? And then from there, it's down to the daily habits. If this is what I want for 20 years, here's where I need to be in 5, here's my 1 year plan, my quarterly objectives, here's the daily habits that I need to do to make sure I'm tracking towards that goal. Now, after you do all of these checkpoints and all of these steps, you have to make sure they're forward and backwards aligned. Meaning, if I take these daily steps, will I get where I want to be in my quarterly objectives? Will I get in my 1 year plan, in my 5 year vision, in my 20 year goal, in my vision of what I want to see? Will it get there? And then work backwards, 25, 1, quarterly, daily. If those line up forward and backwards, they know you're taking you to where you want to be, no matter what you're looking at, whether it be professionally, personally, with your family. You know that they forward and backwards align. But here's the beauty of this. So these serve as checkpoints. They just serve as, am I moving towards where I want to go? Am I moving farther away? But where you act and where you focus is in the daily, right? So much of your energy should be focused in the daily. You know, if you look at a pie chart of what there should be, maybe 20% on your future of where you want to focus, 10% on your past to know so you can learn from it, not to dwell on it, not to spend time in it, right? There's a reason your windshield is so big and your view mirror is so small, right? You should be spending time looking forward more than you're looking back. Back can just serve as a reference point. So you know that, hey, can I learn from mistakes I've made or great things that have happened? But I'm still looking in the future. But at least 60 to 70% of your time should be spent in the daily and the quarterly, meaning what am I doing every day to make sure that I'm present with my kids, my spouse, my family, my job, whatever it may be, and not spending too much time in the future or too much time in the past. That helps you do that. But it's also not leaving it to chance. So many people spend more time on what they are having for lunch or meal planning that day than they do on their life and really designing their life. And the cool thing about life is that you get to architect it, you get to design it. And the more you do these type of exercises, the more you can design the exact life that you want. So as far as a recap of what we're looking at here, make sure you define where you're at. Start with right now. Where am I at? Whether it be embarrassing, hard, vulnerable, just start with as much detail as you possibly can. Where am I at right now? Where is it that I want to be in 10 years, 15 years, 20 years? You set the number, right? Again, I got a worksheet to do for you. And I'll make sure I post that on all the different media channels that we have this on. Where does that leave me, right? Where am I at? Where do I want to be in 10, 15, or 20 years? Then start setting those stakes in the ground along the way so you know you're moving towards it, right? Here's the beauty of this. Those things change. Personally, I've done this with my family, my personal life, my business, everything that we've done. I've set these things and I've changed a little bit over the years, right? But at least kind of puts you in the right direction. If it changes a little bit, at least you know you're moving in that right direction. So make sure you're doing this in all facets. Again, I'm going to upload it so you guys can download it, fill it out 4 different times, right? For all the different facets of your life to make sure you're moving that direction. So I hope that helped a little bit. I hope that helped with your planning and where you want to be and really starting to be a life architect of your life. And I hope this helps, and I hope you found this week amazing. If you know someone that could benefit from this information, tag them below, share this video, post it to them, knock them out with it, right? Make sure you deliver it to them any way you can. Take friends, share, do whatever you need to do. And if you are loving these Strive shows and enjoying the content you're getting, give a thumbs up, a love, a like, wherever you're seeing this at, to let us know we're doing something right for you, and we couldn't appreciate it anymore. Until next time, guys, take care.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of The Strive Show. Make sure you catch up on all episodes on Strive Chiropractic's Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram TV channels. To connect with The Strive Show, email info@strivechiropractic.com.